Tonight, cutting the rate.
Our primary mandate is to maintain low, stable inflation.
The first cut in months with a recession on the horizon. Plus, caught on camera, the search for suspects in St. Thomas lifting lottery tickets in broad daylight. And a new era for the London Nationals.
None of them have seen the jerseys yet, so we're very excited to share this moment with them.
A behind-the-scenes look at their top-to-bottom rebrand.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with the Bank of Canada's first interest rate cut since March. At 2.5%, it's as low as it's been in years. With more on the rationale behind the cut, here's Mike Lecouture.
With global economic growth showing signs of slowing, Tiff Macklem says much of the uncertainty is because of the trade war with the U.S.
Tariffs are weakening the Canadian economy.
Canada's central banker couldn't be more blunt, as exports dropped by 27% in the second quarter of this year and inflation rose by 1.9%. Tiff Macklem and his team decided it was best to lower interest rates.
Canadians remain concerned about the cost of living, and our primary mandate is to maintain low, stable inflation, and we are very focused on that.
Canada's GDP declined by 1.6% in the second quarter, and some forecasts have the rest of the year looking flat, leading some economists to use the R word.
The term is technical recession, where there's two negative quarters. Well, certainly we're pretty well there. The third quarter, it's going to be flat at best.
The central bank disagrees, predicting modest growth in the second half of the year. But Macklem says that could change depending on what comes from the U.S.
Where there's a significant escalation of tariffs, U.S. tariffs, in that scenario, the Canadian economy does go into recession.
The effects of the trade war are also being felt in the U.S., where job gains have slowed and inflation ticked up. It's why the U.S. Federal Reserve recommended cutting its interest rate by 25 basis points on Wednesday. And while the decisions in each country are made independently, it does provide some perspective.
You know, we talk about we got a big deficit of debt. Well, theirs is way bigger than ours are.
The Bank of Canada's next rate decision is in October, but it's unclear if there will be another cut then. With the federal budget expected November 4th, Macklem could wait to see the scope of government spending before cutting the interest rate again. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Ontario's Financial Accountability Officer is predicting a substantial increase to the province's deficit to the tune of billions of dollars just this year. However, government officials are still claiming they'll balance their budget within the next 3 years. Siobhan Morris has more on whether that math adds up.
In the midst of a trade war with no end on the horizon, Ontario's Financial Accountability Officer shares a prediction of the province's finances marked by lots of red ink.
The FAO projects that the budget balance will deteriorate from an estimated deficit of $1.3 billion last year to a deficit of $12 billion in this fiscal year.
That's based on a few different factors.
From a projected 1.7% decline in revenue due to a slowing economic outlook and the loss of temporary revenues, combined with a 3.1% increase in spending.
A spokesperson for the Minister of Finance stresses this report's only a snapshot in time, writing in part, as highlighted in the 2025 budget, we remain on a clear path to balance by 2027-28 as we work to protect our economy and make Ontario the most competitive place to do business in the entire G7.
Today, we learned this budget was a fiction. It's not worth the paper it's written on.
The FAO adds that to make the math work, there will have to be changes.
In 3 years, the government is forecasting a balanced budget. We think it, based on our review, it's closer to a deficit of $10 billion. So to achieve that $10 billion gap, it's either revenue measures or spending changes.
Higher taxes or deeper cuts. The caveat is there remains a lot of uncertainty with the trade picture. So a policy change south of the border could dramatically shift these figures. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A developing story this hour. London police are investigating a crash in the city's East End. They say it happened just before 4:30 this afternoon. Emergency crews responded to Beckworth Avenue between Lancaster and Langton for reports of a male hit by a paratransit bus driver. Neighbors told CTV News he was riding a motorized scooter, and police say the male was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Oxford OPP say they're investigating a death in Ingersoll's Memorial Park. They say they were called to assist paramedics around noon today. The person involved was pronounced dead at the scene. Police in St. Thomas and Aylmer say they've identified a pair of suspects wanted for a series of distraction thefts. As Bryan Bicknell reports, there's video evidence.
It was at this Aylmer variety store late in the morning of September 8th. Ruchik Patel was working the counter when security video shows what happened next. He says a customer told him forms were needed for the self-serve lottery kiosk. He goes to get those new forms while the man reaches into the lottery display and grabs a handful. Another opportunity, and he does it again. Later in the day, the store comes up short.
And my colleague told me after, we did not sell it for scratch tickets. So how can it's possible for a shortage?
They checked the video, and sure enough, they'd been ripped off.
But first time I had like this kind of situation, so I'm so upset.
He wasn't the only victim. Another distraction theft happened at this Aylmer variety store just a short distance away. According to both St. Thomas and Aylmer police, 2 suspects have been identified and charged by way of warrant in connection to multiple distraction thefts in the area.
This one's a new one. Obviously, things change and there's different techniques and different things that come from time to time. But in my time, this is the first distraction lotto theft that I've come to know.
54-year-old Robert Dobre from the GTA is charged with 4 counts of failing to comply and 2 counts of theft under $5,000. The driver of a white Lexus SUV involved in the incidents has been identified as 54-year-old Ahmed Al-Ahmad of Mississauga. He's been charged with being a party to the offense and 2 counts of theft under $5,000. Police say while they're relatively new here in Elgin, distraction thefts are becoming more and more common. In fact, the suspect in this case, accused of actually taking the lottery tickets, well, he's wanted in 8 different police jurisdictions across Ontario and Quebec. Patel says in his store, the suspect got 2 $50 and 2 $30 scratch tickets. In Ontario, typically the maximum any store can give out in lottery winnings is $600.
Quick money, quick turnaround, even if it is lower denominations. And generally, property crime like this usually fuels some type of a drug addiction and a habit. So the quick turnaround for cash is usually the reward.
Police say both suspects are at large with warrants out for their arrest. Bryan Bicknell, CTV News.
Good evening. I hope you're enjoying this beautiful summer extension. It continues as we head into tomorrow. Daytime highs today into the mid to upper 20s in London, hitting 27 degrees this afternoon. Skies are clear. High pressure at the surface and in the upper atmosphere. A nice upper ridge holding, and that will keep things nice and quiet. We have to go all the way to, well, the Dakotas to see any rainfall at all. It's quiet tonight in northwestern Ontario, and there's no watches or warnings in effect. Now, just over the last hour, we've seen a few thunderstorms bubbling up in advance of this cold front that will be swinging through our area heading into tomorrow night. Beautiful conditions tonight. Skies will be clear. Temperature about 15 degrees at midnight. Winds go calm. Stay with us. I'll take you through the extended forecast. The weekend weather is looking great, absolutely gorgeous as we head toward fall.
Thanks, Julie. Team officials with the Ottawa Senators say Alex Formanton will not return to the organization after his acquittal in the World Junior sexual assault trial this summer. League officials have said the 5 players can sign contracts in October but can't play games until December 1st. According to Ottawa's general manager, the team and Formanton's agent agreed a fresh start was best for everyone. He last played for the Senators during the 2021-22 season before signing with a club in Switzerland. A St. Thomas company announced expanded operations this morning, looking to build on a reputation as a Canadian leader in modular wood construction. With more, here's Gerry Dewan.
It's an expansion that's been in the works for more than a year, but it couldn't have come at a better time as the province looks for ways to endure U.S. tariffs.
By ensuring strategic supply chains are developed in Ontario with Ontario workers, we continue to secure the province's place as the single most competitive jurisdiction in the entire G7.
Element 5 uses lumber forested in northern Ontario and incorporates it into modular building components made from laminated and cross-laminated wood.
They know that we are a way for the forestry industry to move from really a commodity product to something that's more value add and really change the outcome of what the forestry industry can do and how it can tie into modular housing.
The Element 5 expansion happens at a time when not only is there a need for more residential structures, but for those structures to go up faster.
Our affordable housing series that we did in Kitchener, the YWCA, we got the building up in about 18 days, which is by far the fastest in the industry, and really changes the whole trajectory of how that building's built.
The province has taken a lead by changing legislation and regulations to open the door for use of modular wood in high-rise buildings.
To go from 4 to 6 to 12 to 14 stories, and now we're looking even higher because we know that land is expensive, and once you've serviced in front of a piece of property, you might as well be going up.
Element 5 partnered with Austrian-based Hostlocker, which has a long history with modular wood building products. They combined to fund the $107 million expansion.
Now we're tripling the size of the square footage and doubling the capacity of the line from 40,000 cubic meters to 80,000 cubic meters. So our trajectory just keeps going up and up and up every year.
The tour says it will also mean an additional 150 jobs at the facility. In St. Thomas, Gerry Dewan, CTV News.
The provincial government is considering expanding authority for several health professionals, including allowing psychologists to prescribe antidepressants and allowing pharmacists to perform strep throat tests. The health minister says expanding those practices will ease pressure on other parts of the healthcare system. Other professionals who may get expanded abilities include dental hygienists, physiotherapists, and even chiropractors, as well as allowing optometrists to perform minor surgical procedures in office. A major restoration project is in the works for the iconic Bud Gowan Antiques building. Daryl Newcombe has more on the new owners and what they have planned.
After years of decay, a new era is beginning for the former Bud Gowan Antiques building on Clarence Street after it was recently acquired by Cento Commercial.
The bones are good. We've had structural inspection of the building. It'll be mostly predominantly interior renovations.
Constructed in 1892, the former factory for women's corsets is best known as the location of Bud Gowan Antiques until its closure in 2012. What followed were more than a decade of failed restorations, vacancy, and neglect. Recently, Cento Commercial received approval from City Hall to construct 12 apartments on the top 3 floors, and the main floor will be renovated to meet the needs of a future commercial tenant.
We do have some room for commercial space on the main level here with residential up top, but we're hoping for architecturally to really preserve what we already have here.
And the commitment to the heritage of the building extends all the way to the mural on the outside, save and except for a couple of windows that need to be installed. Cento Commercial has experience completing similar restoration projects in other Ontario downtowns, and the firm has nothing but praise for the assistance provided by London City Hall to get the project to the starting line.
Oh, actually quite incredible. They were very welcoming and very accommodating, providing meetings and consultations.
And Cento Commercial says 387 Clarence might just be the start of a growing presence in London.
London is a bit new to us, and if things do go well, because as Andrea was mentioning, your city council has been very supportive the whole way through with open arms, and we did like to see that. And if this does go well, you could see us here in the future in other projects.
Construction is slated to begin in November, with apartments ready to rent in 12 to 18 months. Daryl Newcombe, CTV News.
Officials in Huron County say the planned reopening for a century-old former rail bridge has been pushed back. It was supposed to reopen this month. Scott Miller has more on the delays.
The painstaking work of restoring parts of a 120-year-old former train bridge will continue into November, 2 months longer than initially expected.
It's a tentative date, but it's one that we're looking forward to because it has been a long haul to get here. It's been exciting in many ways, but also fairly arduous.
Since April, crews have been restoring the tops and bottoms of 4 gigantic piers that support the 250-ton Mennesetung Bridge in Goderich. A 2020 engineering report found potentially serious structural issues with the monstrous bridge that spans the Maitland River.
The weather obviously affects concrete in various ways, and the serious problem here is that the upper part of the piers were in danger of losing their strength around the bearings. So the top 2 meters of each pier have been recapped with reinforced concrete. And the other problem is lower parts of the piers were damaged by ice over the years and whatever. And so the bottom 6 meters of each pier, of the principal piers, are part of our next part of this project.
Connolly, who has been watching the work very closely, says about 3/4 of the work on the upper piers is done, while about 2/3 of the lower piers have been completed. The total cost of the project is approximately $970,000, which about 92% of has been raised from the public and government grants so far. Extending the work made more sense than reopening as hoped in September.
The setup costs add to the costs of them coming back another time, and we really did not want to close the bridge another season.
The Mennesetung Bridge was a train bridge from 1907 to 1988 and was saved from the wrecking ball by a group of volunteers who turned it into a walking bridge in the early 1990s. It's estimated as many as 30,000 people use the 750-foot-long bridge each year. It's an integral part of the Guelph to Goderich Trail, Maitland Trail, and Trans-Canada Trail, which is why protecting the tops and bottoms of the concrete pier supporting the gigantic structure is so important, say organizers. In Goderich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
The Grand Theatre's high school project is back for its 27th year. It offers professional mentoring in all aspects of theater production for aspiring artists. Here's a preview of what they're working on this year, Disney's Newsies.
Newsies is a story about young people discovering their power. So it's set in 1899 in New York City. It's based on a true story of a group of newspaper sellers who were surprised when their bosses at the World newspaper hiked the price of newspapers to an unreasonable level. And they decided to strike. They actually inspired a general strike. So all of New York City shut down because of these kids' actions. So while it's on the surface a story about a bunch of boys and girls who come together to protest injustice in the workplace, it's actually about the power that young people have to change the world.
This year we processed through over 400 applicants for all of those roles and ended up with 61 young people that are a part of this process. So everything from props and wardrobe to stage management to photography and marketing to scenic art, as well as playing in the orchestra with the professional pit musicians. And then this production of Newsies has 38 young people on stage in the cast.
It has been so amazing. It's been so much fun just meeting all the cast, and I still remember the first day. If you're someone who wants to join theater and you're in high school, do the high school project, or at least audition, because even the audition was so much fun, and it's such a welcoming and warm community, and it has been so much fun. And buy tickets to Newsies.
Coming up, a new season getting underway for the Knights and Nationals. We tee up London's local hockey teams on the other side of the break.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Well, welcome back. It's time for the Tee Up with Brent Lail, and we start on the gridiron, where a local teenager earned a national honor.
Yeah, a spectacular catch by Banting Broncos wide receiver Will McBurney earned his school a $3,000 grant from NFL Canada.
Oh, yeah.
cleared the line, got the ball a little bit behind me, so I had to make a play for my QB, but, that's what you got to do.
You never want to encourage a one-handed catch, and, Will's often working on those skills, one-handed and two-handed, so I always give him a hard time in practice, and then sure enough, in the game, first game of the season, he pulls off a spectacular one-handed grab, takes it in for a touchdown, and we're happy.
The video of the catch was submitted by Coach Todd McKay as part of the NFL on CTV's Way to Play contest. McBurney was chosen as the National Week 2 winner, earning money for equipment.
Equipment's getting expensive these days. With the new tariffs, it's really upped the cost of football helmets and shoulder pads for us. And so the extra $3,000 will get put to good use.
Football equipment's very expensive, so, $3K is... It's a good amount, but, we won't get too much stuff. But it's really exciting that I could contribute, help the team in the future.
And the high school football season kicked off today with some Tier 2 action at Beale Secondary. There's Westminster's Abdullah Al-Shabag going up for the first of his 2 interceptions on the day. Westminster driving late in the fourth quarter, trying to take the lead, but Zach Duval out of nowhere with the interception, keeping the lead for the Raiders. Final play of the game. One last desperation attempt, picked off by Finley Wojtek Hissong, who takes it to the house to seal the victory. Beale starts the season with an 8-1 win.
And Brent, the 10-team top division kicks off tomorrow, part of United in Sports Week.
Yeah, and the consensus favorite to win it all is Catholic Central, who's ranked 6th of all high school football teams in the country by Canada Football Chat. Girls field hockey was the first fall sport to get going. Captain Olivia Thompson scoring in a 5-0 win for the defending TV Raw and WASA champion Medway Cowgirls. With a number of players returning, they look like a strong contender to repeat.
I've been waiting for this season since the last one ended. I think it's going to be good. We have a good, strong group, a lot of grade 9s coming in. And then we have a good group of grade 12s who have lots of experience, so I think we can go back-to-back here.
We're just 2 days away from the London night season opener at Canada Life Place.
Yeah, the defending Memorial Cup champions will host Owen Sound in front of a packed house, and they'll watch their banner go to the rafters.
It's going to be a pretty cool experience. We had a great team last year, and unfortunately the guys playing pro won't be there to see it, but it'll be a cool night for all the guys who are there.
Many of the championship players have graduated, and a number of others are away at NHL camps right now, so it's going to be a few games until London has its full-strength roster.
The goal is another championship. Of course, we got to taste it last year, and everyone everyone knows how much work it takes to get there, and we want to do the same thing, and we want to celebrate like we did last year.
And finally, Brent, the London Nationals off to an unbeaten start, and they play their home opener tonight.
Yeah, it's a year of change for the Nationals, Carlyle, who have a new ownership, a new logo, and a brand new dressing room. We got a tour this morning. A new logo and a new look.
Welcome to the London Nationals' new dressing room. Well, we wanted a change, and we wanted to honor the people that work for the Canadian National Railway. 1961, they were the actual sponsor, and that's how it became the Nationals.
Owners Dean and Brenda Pomerleau, who bought the team in January, spent tens of thousands of dollars to upgrade to a professional environment.
We tried to use as many local people involved with cabinetry, staining, painting, everything. We went to a point of putting embroidery on every seat just to give it a little classier look. All the nameplates up top. We put the player, what country they're from, and what their hometown was. The Tron in the middle of the room is four-sided. It's controlled by the coach's room, so they can draw up plans, go over video and that, and the players can see everything on the Tron and over the PA system.
We're in the back half of the dressing room. We've tried to create a very, very professional environment. We do have a trophy wall. To the right, my right, there's a therapy room. We do have a full-fledged kitchen where the team will prepare shakes and eat their meals after their game. And we do have a red light therapy sauna as well.
The Nationals are a perfect 2-0 on the ice and are ready to showcase their new brand to the fans at their home opener.
We're really excited. Some players haven't seen the room yet. None of them have seen the jerseys yet, so we're very excited to share this moment with them. We're ready for tonight, and I think we're going to have a great season. We're back on track.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Julie's on the desk with me now. We were talking off air about the forecast and how, I don't know if you'd call it maybe a glitch in the system, because you could have just ran yesterday's forecast today. It's like nothing changed.
Nothing changed. Now, we will see a wind shift.
Okay.
There's something for tomorrow afternoon, and temperatures are expected to dip on Friday. But tomorrow, basically a repeat of what we had today. 27 degrees our high this afternoon. At the London airport, it was warm. 10 degrees our low last night. Tonight, the low temperature a couple degrees warmer than that. Satellite radar showing a low pressure system in through northern Ontario, although it is fairly weak, and a cold front is sliding through just south of Hudson Bay, just making its way towards James Bay. But we remain under the strong influence of high pressure at the surface and in the upper atmosphere, and it stretches all the way into the Maritimes. So that's keeping the Great Lakes Basin clear, beautiful, and warm. Now, Western Canada is still dealing with forest fires and air quality issues tonight, still in through parts of Alberta. Temperatures have cooled a bit across the southern prairies into the upper teens, though, and still 23 degrees in Thunder Bay. But you can see by the color grid indication all of the warm air that's in place, and it stretches all the way to northern Quebec. So warmth holding. Heading into tomorrow, a weak cold front will start to drop in. I mentioned a bit of a wind shift. That's really all we'll see as we head into your Friday. The cold front will make the move Thursday night into Friday, and we'll pick up some cloud cover. So we will start the day tomorrow with full sunshine. By the afternoon, a mix of sun and cloud, and that's really all we're going to squeeze out of this front. Overnight, 10 to 12 degrees. It'll be 14 degrees near Lake Huron tonight, and 13 to 14 degrees near Lake Erie. Waking up to sunshine in the morning and a warmer start to the day. Tomorrow, we're going to talk a bit about the humidex, though. So the humidity is going to just creep back in ever so slightly. 28, the forecast high, but it will feel like 30 to 31 in the afternoon. 32 degrees, so you're going to notice the humidity just a bit. Our metal roof outlet forecast for Friday, a mix of sun and cloud, back to comfortable conditions and 23 degrees. 20 for your Saturday under a mix of sun and cloud, and then Sunday, cloudy. Sunday, we'll see a warm front come in, and that will bring the chance for some nighttime rain, and the temperatures headed back up to 26. Fall officially arrives Monday afternoon with the equinox. There is the chance for showers. 40% may be high. We need some rain, so hopefully we will squeeze out some showers. Mainly cloudy on Tuesday and 24, and a mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday. Daytime highs over the next 7 will be well above normal in Midwestern Ontario. Your forecast, a mix of sun and cloud Thursday into Friday. This front is coming through fairly dry. Just some cloud cover associated with it. So starting with sunshine to a mix of sun and cloud and a hot one in advance of the front. Then the winds will come in out of the north for your Friday, and the temperature dips down to 20. One day where we're at 19 degrees and we don't hit that 20-degree mark in Midwestern Ontario. Sunday back up to 23, the chance of showers on Monday, although those probabilities on the lower end. Mainly cloudy Tuesday, 22 to 23. We will roll into the fall season with temperatures averaging well above normal, and it's going to be a hot one tomorrow. Get ready, upper 20s, feeling like the low 30s. Carlyle, back to you.
Thanks very much, Julie. Still ahead, taking issue with Canadian claims, the class action lawsuit in the works accusing grocers of maple washing.
How many times can you say the Pure Puppy Pigskin Picks in 15 seconds? You're going to want to practice that for tomorrow morning.
Yes, we got our Pure Puppy Pigskin Picks and the contest that can score you a $100 OLG voucher at 7:10.
Canadian grocery chains are under scrutiny, accused of pushing products claiming they're Canadian when they're not. As Pat Foran reports, a class action lawsuit is now in the works.
You see them all over grocery store aisles and shelves, maple leaves, made in Canada labels, or signage urging you to buy Canadian. Dave, a Toronto shopper who asked us to hide his identity as he searches for misleading advertising, just noticed 2 questionable products.
We saw that a bag of onions were mislabeled and the green beans were also mislabeled.
Dave found green beans for sale marked as a product of Canada, but on closer inspection on the bag it says product of Guatemala. In another case, he saw a bag of red onions for sale, also sold as a product of Canada. Not the case. On the bag it says product of Egypt.
We've seen many cases where the maple leaf was used to inflate prices, and frankly, a lot of products were labeled in a way that it was actually quite misleading.
Following complaints, a Quebec law firm has filed a class action lawsuit against major grocery chains, including Provigo, Sobeys, Metro, and Walmart.
This is actually false representation or false advertising.
Lawyer Joey Zucron says grocers are using false advertising to take advantage of consumers who want to support Canadian products.
The only conclusion is that it's to make profit and it's to take advantage of vulnerable consumers who are at a disadvantage vis-a-vis the information that the grocer has.
The class action seeks compensation for customers. Sylvain Charlebois says earlier in the year there was labeling confusion and adjustments required time, but he says by now mislabeling should be considered unacceptable.
There's just zero tolerance for this now.
Dave says he plans to keep looking for maple washing errors because he wants to support Canadian producers.
We personally want to support these local Canadian farmers. I want to make sure that the product I'm getting is actually from Canada.
The class action has been filed but has not yet been authorized in court. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A new survey on Canadian work habits suggests many employees are going through their shift without a proper lunch break. Vanessa Wright has more on the potential effects that can have on the rest of their workday.
A new study suggests the Canadian lunch is disappearing, as survey results from Factor Canada show 61% of Canadians skip their lunch break altogether.
Today I skipped my lunch, so it happens. I'm not shocked at all. I can't believe it's a higher percentage.
Not entirely skipping lunch. It's sort of like I eat it on the fly, in the elevator, standing up. I never sit for lunch at work.
Sometimes I just find that I don't really have time.
Experts say it's all based on one misconception.
People will skip lunch thinking that you're going to get that little bit more productivity out of yourself. But really, it sets you up for less productivity throughout the day. Your energy levels go lower. Maybe you can't think quite so clearly.
And for those who do take a lunch, the studies show 2 in 5 eat it at their desk. But that doesn't necessarily count.
An even better step is to get away from the desk, go for a walk, see other people, maybe get some fresh air while you're having that really balanced meal.
Still, many agree a lunch break is a chance to refuel and recharge. 38% of respondents who took a true lunch break said it reduced stress, 25% say it fostered stronger connections, and 24% say it powered afternoon productivity.
Another thing we'll talk about is if you have a little bar fridge at work, what are some things that you can stock it with so that on those days when it was just too much to make sure that you had a balanced meal for the day, that you have options. There isn't really an excuse.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index finished narrowly in positive territory today. The TSX up 6 points. In New York, the Dow added 260. The Nasdaq fell 73. Canadian dollar lost 0.07 of a cent on commodity markets. Gold dropped $7 an ounce. Oil down 46 cents a barrel. Later on CTV News, bottled beer meets the end of the line. Why Moosehead Brewing is canning their glass containers. Welcome back. Fairway Fest kicks off tomorrow, the first of 3 nights of music at East Park Golf Gardens. And for more on the event, we're joined live by Nick Paparella tonight. Nick, over to you.
Yes, Carlyle, this is the second year for Fairway Fest. I'm joined now by the guys that run the show here at East Park, Justin Teseo and Alon Shatil. And Alon, all the concert goers that come out to this show love the venue.
Absolutely. I mean, look around. Trees are blooming and they're starting to change for the fall. And I mean, it's gorgeous. The grass is green. And what an intimate venue to have a concert. I mean, what a great addition to East Park. Something to close off the season with is now 3 days instead of 2 days. And we can't wait. We're so excited.
And Justin, as Alon mentioned, it really is kicking off 3 days, kicking off tomorrow night. A big-time lineup this year.
Nick, we're so excited for a 3-day show. Tomorrow with Sass Jordan in the box. They've played together in the past, and so they're super excited to do so again. Friday, we got Trooper and Chilliwack. Chilliwack's actual last tour, so they're super excited to come here and finish off their tour here. And then Saturday, we actually got I Love the 90s, and I Love the 90s hasn't been with us for a couple years now in London, so we got Naughty by Nature, Rob Bass, Young MC, and CNC Music Factory. And tickets on Friday are almost sold out. Saturday's selling hot. So everyone get their tickets now, and they get them at eastparklondon.com or right on our property here at the clubhouse.
All right. And Alon, I mean, East Park, a lot of people love coming out here in the summer. You're a big part of our community. This is just another way of getting involved in the community.
Absolutely. I mean, we love welcoming people in all seasons. Obviously, springtime, beautiful. We got the school groups and everything else. And then in the summertime with the water park and family fun times and date nights and you name it. But I mean, come on, the fall is so spectacular. We have the golf. Unfortunately, the water park shuts down. But then we have this concert, and it is so much fun. I mean, last year people were raving about what a great time they had because it's an intimate venue. I mean, it's just a good time. Everyone just really enjoys the music and the ambiance of this venue.
All right. Thanks a lot, Justin, and thanks, Alon. Again, things kick off tomorrow night with Sass Jordan right here at East Park. Tickets are still available for Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night.
Nick Paparella live for us tonight. Thanks very much, Nick. A whole weekend of events has been planned around the city leading up to International Car-Free Day.
Monday is an International Car-Free Day, and we've added some extra activities on Friday, Saturday, Sunday throughout the weekend.
Organizers are encouraging people to make use of active travel options to get around the city. This weekend, there will be Thames Valley Parkway tours and a bicycle rodeo on Saturday outside Earl Nichols Arena, which includes a bike safety check, helmet fittings, and a skills course.
The core of this is really about independence and freedom, building healthy habits and showing an alternative and building some of these habits at a younger age so they can continue on into adulthood.
Health officials say a new minimally invasive therapy is showing promise for helping arthritis patients deal with chronic pain. Pauline Chan has more on the impact and the cost.
It was a cycling accident that badly fractured Alex Sadowski's left ankle. He had 2 surgeries, rehab, and was supposed to be healed, but chronic pain had set in.
Everybody started telling me, oh, you should have relief, things should be fine. Go work out, go on a walk, do these things, and within 20 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on the activity, I would be gassed out and in pain.
Then last year, he was referred to Dr. Adrian Lee and tried a new treatment called regenerative matrix therapy.
And the concept is we're taking a patient's own fat tissue and injecting it into an area where there's needed because of damage. In order to restore function, improve mobility.
It's a bit like platelet-rich plasma therapy, but much more directed. Fatty tissue from the abdomen is processed for an hour, and Dr. Lee says they're not exactly sure which components in the tissue are the ones that work to prevent cartilage degeneration, but they work.
Many different things. We have endothelial cells, fibroblasts, mesenchymal stem cells, and many other types of cells, and growth factors and extracellular matrix that we use.
The treatment can be used on shoulders, ankles, hips, and especially on knees.
The best candidates for regenerative matrix therapy tend to be patients who have moderate osteoarthritis, but are otherwise active and want to stay active.
At one time, these movements would have been excruciating for Alex. Now he has full mobility in his ankle.
100% is tough to gauge after being in chronic pain for so long, but I will definitely say I've never felt this level of freedom since before the accident.
The procedure is not covered by OHIP and can cost several $1,000s per injection. Only one shot is needed, and the effects have lasted up to 4 years in some cases. Right now, there are 3 clinics in Ontario performing regenerative matrix therapy, and 1 more opening soon in Calgary. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
I'm Andrew Johnson in BC's hot, dry Okanagan, where a home is being built out of a material that can withstand a wildfire.
When a wildfire happens to pass through this property, it has a very good chance to survive.
How it works and how much you'll pay tonight on CTV National News and ctvnews.ca.
Hot temperatures for your Thursday. Thank you to Miriam Telfer for this photo of the Thames River taken at Springbank Park. A weak cold front coming through will dip the temperatures heading into Friday, but still holding well above a normal. Daytime highs over the weekend from 20 to 26 degrees. Next opportunity for rainfall coming Sunday night, although probabilities remain low.
President Donald Trump was met with plenty of pomp and pageantry on his first full day of his state visit to the UK. With more on his profoundly royal welcome, here's Joy Malbon.
Talk about a royal charm offensive. The U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania arrived to a spectacular welcome, greeted by Prince William and Princess Catherine, and then King Charles and Queen Camilla. Pulling out all the stops designed to dazzle the U.S. president, who's a great admirer of the late Queen and royal family. There was a massive military performance, a fly past with the red arrows, but all of this is happening inside these castle walls where security is very tight, and avoiding the large number of anti-Trump protesters here and in London. Today's pomp is a rare honor for this president. It's meant to strengthen ties between the U.S. and the UK, the so-called special relationship, and it's recognition that the U.S. president has craved. The British government hopes this will smooth over some thorny issues when Prime Minister Keir Starmer meets with Trump over tariffs. The government hopes to ink new trade and technology deals. And there's also the issue of support for Ukraine. While King Charles is politically neutral, he may delicately raise the issue with the president, capping the day with a lavish banquet fit for the president and hosted by the king. Today, the pageantry, tomorrow, the politics. All of this happening in just 48 hours. Joy Malbon, CTV News, Windsor.
One of the co-founders of Ben & Jerry's ice cream is stepping down from the company 47 years after he started it. Gerry Greenfield says the independence they once had to speak up on social issues has been stifled by the brand's parent company. In his resignation letter, there was no mention of Israel's ongoing military operation in Gaza, but Ben & Jerry's has been outspoken on the treatment of Palestinians for years. Greenfield's resignation comes 5 months after the company filed a lawsuit accusing Unilever of firing its chief executive for supporting the brand's political activism. A Canadian brewing institution is making a major production change. For nearly 100 years, you've been able to buy Moosehead beer in bottles, but that era is about to end. As Avery McRae reports, cans are taking over.
For decades, the sound of bottles clanging has been the soundtrack inside St. John's Moosehead Brewery.
We're very proud of our past, but we're always focused on our future and focused on what we need to do next to keep earning the trust and the support of beer drinkers.
By year's end, Moosehead will stop producing bottled beer and focus exclusively on cans and kegs. Moosehead President and CEO Andrew Olin says the decision reflects the times. According to Moosehead, just 7% of beer drinkers in Canada are twisting off a bottle cap, compared to 85% who are cracking open a can. The amount of can consumers has increased by 20% in the last 5 years alone.
When my great-great-great-grandmother, Susanna Olin, started brewing beer in 1867, we only sold it in kegs. And we didn't start selling in bottles till 1933, and then cans came in the mid-1950s. This will give us time, an opportunity in the years to come to look at either larger cans or smaller cans.
Let's go The bottles have been iconic over the company's years, whether it be the classic green bottle or the old-style stubby. Bottling up that area of production wasn't a decision made lightly by Canada's oldest brewery.
I go back to sort of when we first started talking about it in 2019, and I remember like, that'll never happen. And then you get more and more comfortable with these decisions, and who knows what Moosehead will be selling beer in 50 years from now, but it'll all be the great beer that we brew here at Moosehead.
The company intends to expand its canning capability at the plant. The final bottle run will happen in December and stay on shelves until they're out. To celebrate the end of the bottling era, Moosehead is offering the chance for one lucky fan to take home the final bottle ever made at the brewery. The winner of an online contest, which closes October 27th, will be selected to witness the final production run and take home the last ever bottle directly off the line. Have to admit, it's a neat little piece of Canadian brewing history to be had. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. John.
Finally tonight, a Calgary man and his feathered friends. He takes his pair of cockatoos for daily walks, letting them fly untethered in the wild. And as Kevin Green reports, they always fly back.
Enrique Esteban takes his cockatoos, Bandito and Corky, for walks through Calgary parks. Unlike dogs, his pets aren't on leashes. They take off into the trees, sometimes for hours before flying back to him.
The way to interact with any animal as a pet, the most beautiful and genuine way of doing it is to deal with them with as close as possible as to what they will be doing in nature.
Bandito can only fly short distances and glide because of an old wing injury acquired before being adopted by Esteban. But Corky soars above the trail. Esteban says after doing this for over 30 years, the pair of birds treat him like a member of their flock.
I feel sensitive enough to be connected with them.
We were just walking saying, we don't see any birds here anymore. And then looking in, we look and here we are, there's birds.
The sight of the tropical birds perched on Esteban's rope, then taking flight, turns heads.
What the heck? Because I was trying to figure out what kind of a bird it was. I said, it's not a raptor. That doesn't sound local. And then I saw what was going on.
Here.
Yeah.
Esteban uses those encounters as a chance to teach people about the longevity and intelligence of cockatoos.
Never force any living creature to do what you know that is not in their intention or on their habit, because indirectly they might be telling you, no, I don't feel secure in this environment.
Esteban says he's never trained the birds, saying instead the reason the birds return to him every day is because they've trained him.
Whenever you have a pet, never humanize your pet, instead animalize yourself.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. And back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.